If you want to try traditional hand-stitched pojagi patchwork, then this little coaster is a nice project. It's large enough that it gives you a lot of experience with different types of seams, but it's also small enough that it's easy to finish. Today, I'm going to show you how to make it. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, pojagi, and embroidery. So pojagi is kind of an umbrella term for traditional Korean sewing techniques, and there are a few different patchwork techniques that are included in this. So in this project, this is a lined project, so it is not made with reversible seams, but this is a seam that is stitched with an overcast stitch, and then the seams are pressed open. So to make this little coaster, you're just going to need a few simple tools and materials. Now, this coaster is made with linen fabric, and linen is a great fabric for trying some of these traditional sewing techniques because it's easy to find and it's easy to work with. If you can find rami fabric, then that's also a really great option, and that is a traditional Korean option, but it can be very difficult to find. So linen is a really good substitute. So for this, you're going to need 2 colors of linen, and then for thread, you have a few different options, but keep in mind your thread is going to be visible. So something that is a little bit chunky, but it matches the weight of your fabric is going to be a good choice. So in this one, I used a size 8 pearl cotton, and I picked pearl cotton to match this blue fabric. Now for the other sample that I'm going to be sewing, I'm going to be using a 12 weight thread, and this one is variegated in the lighter color. So you do have some variety in terms of the weight of thread and the color. Another option that is common traditionally is to use a totally contrasting color. So this could be stitched with like pink thread, green thread, whatever. The stitching is part of the design, so feel free to play with that in terms of color and in terms of weight of thread. Now this technique is template based, so you're going to need templates for this. So you're going to need a 4-inch square, and then a 2-inch square, a 1-inch by 2-inch rectangle, and then a half square triangle of a 2-inch square. So this is a 2-inch square cut on the diagonal to give the triangle. And these are just pieces cut out of a cereal box. So it's just pieces of cardboard. And then for tools, you are going to need a hair marker, and then you're just going to need scissors and a needle. Now in terms of the needle, you'll need a needle with a large enough eye for the thread that you are using, and if you're using linen fabric, you don't need a super sharp needle because your needle will be going through the weave of the fabric. You're not really piercing the fabric. So I'm using just like a cross stitch needle, but you could use any kind of embroidery needle. There is some flexibility there. If you're using more tightly woven fabric like quilting cotton or something like that, then you would need a sharp needle because you would be piercing the fabric. So just try what you have, and then if you're struggling, you're finding it difficult to work with, then feel free to try something else until you find what works easily. So the first thing we need to do is cut the pieces of our fabric. To cut out our patchwork shapes, we will lay our linen fabric on top of a piece of heavyweight cardboard just to protect the table. Then place the template on the cardboard and trace around the edge of the template with the hair marker, being sure to leave a 1/4 inch gap around the edge. We're marking the seam lines of the piece. So when you start tracing your second piece, be sure that there is 1/2 inch between the 2 pieces so that you'll have a 1/4 inch seam allowance on each of the shapes. So when each of the shapes have been traced, The crease lines should be clearly visible. And once they've been traced, then cut out the pieces 1/4 inch away from the marked lines. So now that all our pieces are cut out, we're just going to go along and pinch on the marked lines, and then we'll just crease them so that they're very visible to see. And these folds should be clear in the fabric. And then we're going to start with joining our 2 small rectangles. So we'll have a rectangle of each color, and we're going to join those together. So to join these, we're going to fold the seam allowances to the inside, and we're putting them wrong sides together. So we can see this is the right side, and on the inside we have the wrong sides together. And then we're going to line up these seams. So I can see this line, that is going to be the seam on the side, and I'm just going to make sure that that's lined up with the seam on the other side. So you can see the edge of the fabric doesn't line up exactly because I was just eyeballing the seam allowances. So the seam allowances might not be exactly the same size, but because we are lining up the seam lines, which is what we marked with the hair marker, then that means it will still go together. It doesn't matter that the seam allowances are slightly different sizes. And now I have my needle threaded here, and I am going to just tie a knot in the thread, and then I'm going to bring the thread up on the inside. And so you can see I'm putting it right into the fold onto the inside of the seam. And then I'm going to stitch this with an overcast or a whip stitch. And we don't want to pull this tension really tight, but we don't want it super loose. So it might take a bit of practice to get the tension and to get all the consistency in your stitching. So we can see from the top, from this angle, I'm stitching this straight across. So my needle is going perpendicular to my fabric, and so that means the stitches are on a slant. And if we look at it from this side, we can see I'm just taking a tiny bite out of the fabric. So I'm just coming down maybe a thread or 2 from the top. So we don't want to come too far down, but we have to make sure that we get enough of the fabric so that it holds together. And so we'll take our pins out as we go, and we'll stitch just like this all the way to the other seam line. So notice that I started at that seam line. I didn't sew in the seam allowances. And then once we get down to this other seam allowance, then before we do anything with the edge of the thread, we just want to make sure that the seam is going to lay flat. If your tension is too tight, then you might have a little ridge in it, and it won't lay flat. And if your tension is too loose, then you'll see little holes in here between the 2 pieces of fabric. But it should lay nice and flat, and with the 2 fabrics just butted up against each other. So once we have that, then we're ready to fasten off the thread. So I will just take the thread to the inside, and then on the inside I will finish that off with a knot. So I'm just going to tie a knot in the seam allowance, and so then I can cut the end there. And so here is our first piece that is ready, and then we're going to do 2 pieces just like this. And the fabrics in this one are actually going to be the opposite of the fabrics in this other one. So it's going to look like this. And then I just need to join these triangles together to get the last piece. Now, a little trick when you're joining half square triangles is it's a little bit trickier just because you're working on the bias and your seams are at an angle. And so after you join the pieces, here I can do this on the wrong side. If you use your 2-inch square template and just place that on, then you can just make sure that your pieces are 2-inch square. So it's a tiny bit off there. So I can just kind of mark this so that it's a 2-inch square, and that will help if there's anything that was a little bit off in your stitching, or if anything got pulled a little bit, because it's easy to stretch that bias, but this will help ensure that it is a 2-inch square. So now that all my small units are put together, I'm just going to join those two together and join those two together, and then I will join together on the final seam so that I have my little block. So once all these pieces have been joined, we can double check on the back side just to make sure that this is a 4-inch square. And if we need to, we can just remark some of the seams so that it will match our 4-inch background square exactly. And then also where we see some of these points from the triangles, we can just clip the points off of there to reduce some of the fabric in the seam allowances. And then we're going to put this and our background fabric wrong sides together and fold all our seam allowances in. So just like when we're joining our pieces, we're going to line up our seams. So I have on this corner my seam allowances folded to the inside, and then on this corner they're folded in. I will line up this corner and pin that, and then line up our other corner. And you can see I folded in the seam allowances in opposite directions. So this one is folded this way and that one is folded that way, instead of having them as mirror images of each other. And then I will fold down the seam allowances on the side and attach that with pins. And I'm going to do that around all 4 sides, just to make sure that it's going to lay together nice and flat. So once that's pinned all the way around and we can see that the edges all line up, now we're just going to do the same kind of whip stitch around the edge. And so I'm going to start just the same way. I'll bring my thread up so it's inside the seam allowance, so it's right in there, and then I'm going to stitch that just the same way as I did the other seam. The only difference is this one can be a little bit snugger because this one is not going to be flattened. This is just the edge, so it's not going to be opened up. It's going to stay like this. So we're going to stitch that all the way around till we get back to where we started. So once the stitching has come all the way back around to where you started, you're going to want to end this with a knot right in the inside again. But to do that, we'll just make a small knot on the outside. And then, because the linen isn't really tightly woven, we can put our needle to the inside and then just kind of, with a little tug, pop that knot through to the inside. So there it is. And we can just trim the edge of this thread. And the knot's all on the inside. So here's our stitching around the edge to hold it together, and our coaster's done. So have fun with this little coaster design. You can play around with different fabrics, different threads, different color combinations. Just use what you have on hand and try it and see how it turns out. And if you want to make something bigger, it's just the same technique. It's just template based. Cut your templates and then use those to mark the actual seams and then stitch them together. If you enjoy English paper piecing, then you'll probably enjoy this type of stitching because it is quite similar, but your stitching is visible. It's on the outside of the piece. So if you're interested in more pojagi tutorials or projects, you can find that at my website, evidastudio.com.